So I'm sitting here working, right? And while I'm working, a random memory just popped in my mind. And I don't believe it was just random, but I wasn't thinking about this. But it's just so amazing how God works. Okay, here we go. So the memory was when I started assisting Benji in the barbershop the end of 2012, right before I went to beauty school. And back then, even now, if you know Benji, she's a loctician. She be getting it now. She has a ton of clients, right? But even back then, she was getting it. So this is nothing new for her. So she would have all these clients, and at the end of the night, I remember sitting there talking to her like, "Ooh, if I could just make this certain amount when I start doing hair, it'll be so great, right?" I remember her looking at me like, "Girl, what?" And she said it like, "Girl, what?" I want to say it was like a low, like abnormally low number. I want to say I said something like, if I can make 300 a week or 500 a week, it was something low. And I remember her looking at me like, "Girl, what?" But at the time, I knew nothing about the beauty industry. I never had a desire to work in it. I didn't do hair or anything. But at this time, God was talking to me and telling me to go to beauty school, right? So this was probably like November, December of 2012. I ended up starting beauty school February of 2013. But I remember her just looking at me and she was like, "Girl, that's no money," right? Fast forward to 2017. I want to say it was either 2016, 2017. I'm a cosmetologist at this time. I'm working and I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm starting to work on my product line at this time. So my good sis Sienna put together this accountability group with entrepreneurs, and we would meet online. We would meet virtually once a week, and we would just brainstorm, give each other ideas, tips, because we were trying to build a business, scale a business. We were just trying to do better and grow our businesses, right? And around this time, I was developing my product line. And I remember during this time, my goal, my like absolute minimum to make was like 3,000 a month, something wild like that. But I remember sitting at the computer on these Zoom calls, and while we're talking, I'm sitting here thinking like, "Ooh, if I could just make it to $5,000 a month." That was like a huge goal for me, right? So I was also a part of the CEO stylist group that Lakeisha Michelle had, and she taught us the formula to meet our financial goals every month in our businesses and stuff like that. So she taught us about like marketing and just mindset and, putting ourselves out there, whatever. So during this time, it was like that $5,000. That was just like, oh, if I can make it to a solid 5,000 every month, right? And then time went on, increase came. Then it was like, man, if I could just make it to 10,000 a month, okay, that came. And I sat here and I thought about it. I was like, man, God, you really have moved. God took me back to these specific times where I had these numbers in my mind and I thought they were something great or maybe hard to achieve, right? Or hard to attain, right? He took me back to that because where I am now, I'm sitting here projecting and planning 6-figure months. When I once thought 3,000 a month was a goal to get to, and that would be kind of difficult to attain, or 5,000 a month was something difficult to attain. And I just look back like, wow, God, you have really moved in my life and in my business. And I cannot take the credit for it. And going back to these times of my life and business is also reminding me not to box God in. Because sometimes we expect God to move based on our level of faith, and we limit ourselves. Here it is. I'm up here talking about 5,000 a month. Oh, if I could just make it to 5,000 a month. Oh, if I could just make it to 10,000 a month. I know we all have to start somewhere, but sometimes we think that's the end all be all. We think that that's just the grand finale. No, we cannot box God in. And even 6-figure months, that ain't all that God wants to do. Like, he can exceed that. Do you believe that? Can you really wrap your mind around God blowing your mind and exceeding your expectations? He really can. I am so looking forward to pouring my all into my students who take my programs. I cannot wait to give them all the tools, all the nuggets, all the gems, all the strategies that I've gotten over these last 13, 14 years. Like, it's going to be so good. Are y'all ready? Because it's up from here. It's up. We all about to win. It's enough out here for all of us. Come get it.